Is there a lesson in here for us? I think there is, if you will look at the thinking, the logic of the temple leadership. What have they done? They had a need and they had a solution, and that solution that was such an important thing to them that they were willing to do something that they should have known wasn't right to accomplish it. The phrase that some of you would know is the ends justifies the means. In other words, what they're saying is the ends, this idea of being able to facilitate the sale of these animals, that end justifies anything we need to do to make it possible, including removing an area of prayer. This idea of the ends justifies the means is a daily occurrence for you. You may have not noticed it or may not have thought of it this way. This does get tricky, though. Consider the example of a starving person. They're out of food. They are literally starving. Is it okay for them to steal food? Because it's the same thing. The end is a good end. Not dying is a good end. The means to do it, well, I wouldn't steal food normally, but in this case, maybe the ends justify the means. And see, when you start thinking about those kind of questions, maybe suddenly you start going like, okay, wait, I get it. Most of the time, ends should not justify means, but maybe sometimes it is okay. Well, it's not. It is never, ever right for the ends to justify the means. And here's why. When you are in one of those positions where you're saying, oh, this thing is so important, what you're also sort of thinking about is what happens if it doesn't come to pass. In other words, you are in a position where you're predicting the future. You're saying, I know the future. I know that if I don't steal this food, I'm going to starve. And you don't know that. Or for the pastor, if I don't raise this money, then these bad things will happen. Or if my candidate is not elected, then these things will happen. And we don't know that. We don't know that at all. You and I are not blessed with knowing the future. And so we are left with the idea of trusting God. To use Matt Kelly, a Christian writer that some of you know, his expression for this is your job is to do the next right thing. You just do the next right thing because you don't know what's going to happen next. So if you're in a position where you're thinking, well, I need to lie at this point because otherwise these things are going to happen, you don't know that those other things might happen. They could, but you don't know. And all you can do is say, well, I'm going to do the next right thing. I'm going to do what I know is right. I'm going to tell the truth. I won't cheat on tests. I'm not stealing. I'm not going to force people to give me money when they don't want to. It's a hard lesson. But it really does go back to, do you and I trust God? But if you can just remember, the ends never justify the means. You'll be with the Lord on this one, and it'll lead you to trust God all the more. And is that not a good place to be?